My name is Sarah Braun. I'm the Director of Admissions. Today we will be speaking about the English major here at University of Maine, Fort Kent up in northern Maine. We're very happy to have you tune in and listen to two of our professors, both Joe Becker and Geraldine Becker, Dr. Joe and Dr. Beckers, and one of our alum, Jessica. So I will let them take it away. And Joe, Dr. Becker, you can start.
Sure. I'm Dr. Joseph Becker. I'm the English Program Coordinator, and I've been here at UMFK since 2003. And I teach a variety of courses in world literature, British literature, and also composition and occasional courses in mythology over the course of any given 3 or 4 year period.
And I'm Geraldine Becker. I've been here also the same amount of time. I started teaching one semester after Dr. Becker did. He's my husband. My specialty is creative writing. I'm a professor of English and creative writing at the UMFK, and I specialize in American literature. Although I do also teach special topics in literature, such as the Harry Potter course, and so that's not American, but it's just something I love. So.
And I'm Jessica Boynton, and I'm currently an adjunct professor of English at UMFK, but I also was a student in the program, so I have a unique perspective on this program.
So Joe, I would love to hear about some internships. And by the way, to all of our attendees, we're going to open it up to a Q&A. And if you do have questions throughout the panel, we would love for you to drop them in the chat, and I will moderate, and I will I'll read the question, and hopefully we'll get you a great answer. So feel free to ask questions as we go along, or you can wait until the end when we have some questions to go over. But Dr. Becker, if you could tell us a little bit about some of the courses you teach in more in depth, or any sort of internship experiences or job opportunities that your former students have had, that would be great.
Well, we have had a successful number of alumni. Of course, Jessica Boynton, our adjunct here in the program, who was also a student here. She went off to Stone Coast down at the University of Southern Maine and earned an MFA in fiction writing. So she's had a very successful postgraduate career after finishing here. We also have had a number of students who have become teachers in the region. There's Kristen Albert at Van Buren High. There's also Megan Watson, who teaches down in Old Town High, and a few others who are teaching the local district. Jocelyn Saucier, who went on to become Aroostook County's Teacher of the Year this past year. And she's an alum of the program as well. We have a number of people who graduated from here that populate the local high schools. Not all English majors go into teaching, and it's not a requirement that you go into teaching. We have several alumni who are in the private sector. We have a number of them working in local businesses. Some have been managers. We had one alum in the last few years who managed a lawyer's office in town and worked in a paralegal capacity. We have another who she is a fitness coach. She's an adjunct instructor with us as well for a couple of classes. She's a fitness coach, a personal coach. She also works at one of the local restaurants and is crafting a cuisine for them. So she has several hats that she wears. She's also a special focuses on developmental education with the local school district. So the idea, one of the things that you find, many English majors post-graduation, post-BA go into management because the organizational skills and the insights that one gets in terms of analyzing and communicating with other people, that's absolutely crucial no matter what career you go into. I like to point out, for instance, a lot of people know the politician Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney, of course, made his fortune at Bain Capital as part of a group of a business group there. However, his undergraduate degree was English. So I don't doubt that he had some a lot of capabilities that were promoted by studying English and literature and understanding human nature, because we study the mind of humanity in our works across the spectrum. So there's a lot of options, and there are a lot of, if you Google and look around, you can find careers of English majors on my website, on the UMFK website. I have a link that will lead you to some young people who talk about their experiences in English around the country. And most of them went into non-education careers and are successful in that.
Joe, would you mind if I dropped the link to that page in the chat so our attendees could check it out when they have a chance?
Yep, sure.
And it's academic.umfk.edu/jbecker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Got it on hand. Yes, the communication skills and the liberal arts education are so useful in every single field, whether it's politics, teaching, or even IT.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Copy editing, ghostwriting, publishing, so many things, so many different areas where maybe your name might not be prominent, but your skills are very useful to whoever is getting the main credit for the writing. Joe and I both, we just worked together to create a low or no profit business, Old Sylvain House Press. And I mean, our names are not even on that because we're not trying to take the credit for anything that's done, so we're trying to help people get their work out there. So and we found that a lot of our former English majors want to assist with this project, and they're not concerned so much about getting the credit themselves as they are building their skills and helping other people.
Jessica, I would love for you to kind of elaborate on either some of your favorite courses that you took at UMFK and how you're using your English major in your daily life.
Sure. Well, first of all, one of my favorite classes actually coincides with what is normally an annual event that we hold on campus. Obviously, this upcoming year won't be possible due to COVID, but we have a Harry Potter book night every year in February. And I actually took a Harry Potter class with Professor Geraldine Becker, which turned out to be one of my favorite classes. I mean, we read the books. I think we also discussed the differences with the movies too.
Mm-hmm.
But that was one of my favorites. I also focused on the creative writing courses. So I got to take a lot of those, and that was, a lot of fun for me. I have to say too that UMFK is very lucky in that I feel like the class selection is really second to none here. I've taken Jungian Fairy Tales, which was, I believe, Professor Becker, a 7-week summer class,
Mm-hmm.
if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And it compared Jung's teachings and beliefs with the fairy tales, so the better known fairy tales and stuff.
Mm-hmm. The Grimm's.
Right. And then I also took Understanding Dreaming, which is now Appreciating Dreaming, which ties English and psychology together, which was really cool too. So I think I can't overestimate just the variety of classes you might end up taking here is tremendous. So.
And the size of the classes are very small as well. So you're going to get individualized attention in both your English classes and your general education required courses or any minor courses that you might take. So, our average class size is very small, which means your professors are going to know your name, and you're not just a face. They're going to know probably when you're having a good day or a bad day, but they really care about you, and that makes for a good leeway or pathway into the real world, because you've already had all these interpersonal connections. You've gotten to know and your professors, whether that's for a recommendation letter in the past or a reference or in the future, or a reference for a job opportunity coming up. But those small class sizes are so important when looking at a college, because you have to know, do you want to be 1 in 400 in a lecture hall? Because if you do, then UMFK might not be the best place, because your professors, like I said, they're going to know when you're there, they're going to know when you're not, they're going to know how you're doing, and they want you to succeed. So that's something that I think a small school like UMFK really, you don't realize how important it is until you're in it, that, wow, okay, I get to go up to my professor during office hours, and he knows me, and he knows how I'm doing, and he knows what I'm struggling with and what I'm succeeding in, and he can help me, or she.
Right. And here,
absolutely.
Here at UMFK too, there are a lot of us will do. You actually get PhD level and MFA level people teaching the courses. It's not just someone in a grad school working toward a master's or something who's teaching a class. Which, when I was an undergraduate, I went to a state university that had about 8,000 students, and a lot of the lower level classes were taught by graduate students, which was great. But at the same time, I didn't get the PhD faculty until I was a junior, senior. When I taught at the University of Arkansas working on my doctorate, I taught 2 sections of world literature, and I had 50 people in each section. This is a university that had 17,000 people on average in a semester. And so I never knew the same people. The same group never showed up 2 days in a row, and keeping track of who's who was next to impossible. Here, you can sit in a group of 5, 10, 15 students, and you just get that one-on-one that you wouldn't normally get with a world-class faculty that we have here on this campus in general.
That's really true. And I think that our classes are honestly, they're more like seminar graduate classes. I mean, because we can get into a circle and you can see everyone, and everyone's voice is important, and we want to know what you think. Sure, we're going to tell you what we think too, but it's not really like the sage on the stage. It's more like the mentor in the middle. We're we're there to help you guide yourself into learning, but you're also helping us. We learn from one another. It's really a great thing.
And what Dr. Becker said made me think of a quote I heard once about UMFK, that it's as if you're getting a private school education because of these small class sizes compared to the large university he might have gone to, but you're getting it for a public school price. Our tuition's very affordable. So, and we even offer merit-based scholarship if you're eligible for it upon admission. So, you can't beat that. Those small class sizes at a public university, it's kind of hard to come by.
Yes.
That's true.
And correct me if I'm wrong, or forgive me if you've already mentioned this, but there's 3 concentrations within the English major. We've got applied communications, creative writing, and literature, right?
Right. And the creative writing, of course, Professor Becker, she teaches a lot of those, and she has a Master of Fine Arts from the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville, which was at one of the top schools in the nation there. That they're very selective in who they take into their programs. And then we also have the literature concentration, and then we're developing the applied communications. That's a work in progress, but it's coming along.
Yes.
Well, I'll open it up to any questions, but do you have anything more to add, Jessica, Joe, or Geraldine?
Well, I just wanted to add that professors will also work with you if they think there's something that you wanted to research more in depth that you didn't get a chance to in your other classes. Because I took a class on vampires with Professor Geraldine Becker, which I really enjoyed, but I don't think I would have gotten that opportunity otherwise. But she knew that was something that I wanted to give more time and research to. So she worked with me to get that going, and I really enjoyed it. So.
Now, Jessica, did you have to write a thesis or and large paper at the end of your degree?
Yes, I had a capstone project, and because my concentration was creative writing, I had to include, I believe it was 10 to 15 poems, right, Professor Becker?
Yep, it was, yes.
But I had to edit and fine tune it, and I had to have a table of contents, and I think I also had to include an essay talking about my writing process and how I improved over time and everything. So
you did, yeah, and you also included 2 academic papers. So it was a really well written capstone.
Right.
Yeah.
And we developed the idea based on the fact that a lot of grad schools want you to submit works. And so when you finish here, you will have a portfolio that you can hand to a graduate school admissions counselor, and you can show the quality of the work that you've done.
And I bet, like I said before, that some of those master's programs probably require letters of recommendation. And when you and Geraldine, Dr. Becker, when you know your students so well, those recommendation letters aren't going to be just form letters. They are going to be glowing, personalized letters, I bet. Hopefully glowing.
Right. Yes, and we've stayed in contact with a lot of our students. We have one who's just finishing her PhD dissertation, and she's actually a tenured faculty across the river in Edmonston at University of Edmonston-Moncton. So she's an alum, and they want to do some collaboration with our program once COVID's over and the border restrictions are over. So there's going to be some international opportunity.
Well, we co-authored a book together, and actually Jessica co-authored a chapter with me in that book. So, it's really important, I think, to stay in touch with your professors, and we're hopefully building relationships that will be long lasting. Yeah.
And I will point out that the people who are teaching for us adjunct now did have to go and get masters before, because you have to have a minimum of a master's to be able to teach at university. So undergraduates, but we do have opportunities for undergraduates to help us. We have had the Aristic Review, which students helped edit and work up the articles and things that went into that. And we also have other opportunities where students in the future, we would like to do some things with maybe a campus newspaper, newsletter, something like that, that's student generated and driven. And having English majors on the staff helps the quality of the writing, certainly, as you're putting this stuff out. There's also opportunities to do weblogs and things of that nature, blogs and other social media things. I'm sure we got opportunities for people to practice as much as they want.
We just started this composition series too, the UMFK Rural Writing Project and English Composition Series. So we're going to be needing judges, and student judges are fine for the work as long as they're not in the class, where this is taking place. So there are other opportunities as well.
And Jessica, you said you're an adjunct professor here at UMFK. What courses do you teach?
I teach composition courses, but I've also taught Intro to Literature, which has been a lot of fun for me.
What's the biggest challenge as being an alumni, but also being an adjunct professor?
Well, I think it's just separating myself from, I'm so used to seeing myself in classes as a student, obviously, which I know that probably sounds silly, but I'm so used to, I have to write this up and I have to read this and I have to do that. And the funny part for me is I would be doing that anyway, but I think trying to do it and learning to read things as a teacher, like as a professor, has been the biggest challenge for me, especially just coming out of grad school, because I just had that experience as well, but that's a whole other story.
You've been a student for a long time. Now you're on the other side of the desk.
Yeah, I think we're getting used to being Professor Boynton. So,
could I ask you a question, Jessica? Did you use any material from your capstone in your application to the graduate school?
I didn't, because I applied for popular fiction.
Okay.
I did use material that I used in your classes. Okay. I'll say it that way, because I also took fiction writing and all that, but yeah. So not the actual capstone itself, because my capstone, my focus was poetry.
Poetry, that's right.
So,
yeah. Okay.
And with English, do you have many students double majoring at all, or do you have popular minors that go with English?
I would say probably minor wise, we've had criminal justice, because being able to write narratives of events and understanding how narratives are crafted can help you in writing a report. We've had computer science minors, because again, communicating in the office and all of us have gotten that cryptic email from someone, you know, we're like, don't understand, and having the communication skill to say succinctly but clearly with clarity, that's absolutely important. Again, no matter what you go into. And I would also say, we have had education in the past. Now, education's a 2+2 here now, but I have had students, they certainly, in some, the former dean of education here recommended that students major in the area because you always need more credits. The minimal, if you go through an education degree, is 24 credits. But people who have 30 hours in the English major or 33 hours are always going to have the leg up on someone who only does the minimal. So he would recommend doing the major, then take the education certification courses, and then you're ready. So, but those were typically the most popular.
But business could also be a really great one, especially if this applied communication takes off, you know, and we get more of those courses approved and get qualified people to teach them. So.
Right. We've had a retirement of one of our faculty, and we're looking in the future of having a professional writer, technical professional writer come in to replace that position. And that's when the applied communications, we hope, really will coalesce more.
Well, I thank you so much for coming in and giving your time, all three of you today. It doesn't look like we have any questions at this time, but as long as you answered all my questions that I would have asked as a a prospective student. So as long as you think that you've covered everything within your major, I just want to thank you.
Well, thank you.
Well, and as always, everyone in the admissions office is here for our prospective students if they have questions about UMFK, about your application, really anything UMFK related, we're all here for you. But I'm sure Dr. Becker, both Dr. Joe and Geraldine Becker would love to speak to any prospective students. So I'm getting the nod from Joe and,
yes.
and the yes from Geraldine.
Yes.
So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to them as well. We are also on social media. I know a lot of students follow their prospective schools on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook. We have all three. Our Instagram and TikTok is at UMFK ADM, and our Facebook is UMFK Life. So if you do want to keep up to date on any fun stuff going on campus, but also some good admissions opportunities and or reminders to get your FAFSA in, or our acceptance letters are going out soon. It's a mix of fun and business on our TikTok and Instagram. So we'd love for you to follow us, and please do not hesitate to reach out to any of us. I'm sure Jessica would be as well a good person to reach out to. And Jessica, is your information on the website as an associate professor?
I believe it is, yes.
Wonderful. And if you do have any questions, let us know. But I just want to thank you all for being here today, and all our attendees for tuning in. We enjoyed having you, and we'll see you soon, hopefully at UMFK as a future Bengal.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.